In this video, we're going to cover the proper use of internet browsers. Now, the browser, some people ask, what's a browser? The browser is the tool that you use to go to the web, to go to the internet. For example, Internet Explorer is a browser. Firefox is a browser. Google Chrome is a browser. Opera is a browser. So, we're going to start with Google Chrome and how to use your browser. We've got Google Chrome open on the screen here. First of all, I want to show you how to use these tabs up here at the top. The little minus button, that will minimize your browser. It'll put it down at the bottom of the screen. The X, of course, will close the browser completely. Clicking on the minus, that's called minimizing that window, minimizing your browser. Maximizing would be if you click the middle button, that maximizes it, makes it go full screen. And if you click that button again, it puts it back into what is called windowed mode. And when it's in windowed mode, you can move the browser around. This is called the title bar up here at the top. If you click in that blue bar at the top and hold the mouse button down, you can actually drag this around and put it wherever you want on the screen. And you can do that with any program or window in Microsoft Windows. Okay, so the next thing we want to cover are the two windows here. You have a window down here which is called the search window. Let's say you want to find out information on video cameras. You might type video camera in here and then hit enter, and of course it will search the internet for websites, web pages that talk about video cameras. If you want to go to a specific website, you put this up here in the top window. Now, what a lot of people do is they get confused about the difference between these two. For example, maybe they want to go to google.com. They'll come down here to the search window and they'll type Google and do a search on Google, and then they'll find Google come up, and then they'll click on this, and it eventually gets you there. But that's really not how you go to websites. If someone gives you an address, let's say someone tells you go to cisco.com, you don't put it down here to search. If someone gives you an address that has a .com or .org at the end, you just type that in the very top window, and it doesn't search for it. It goes right straight to that website. So let's say you wanted to go to yahoo.com. I see a lot of people type it in down here and do a search for it. That's not really the quickest and most efficient way to do it. If you want to go to yahoo.com, you just erase whatever is in the top window and type your address in, and it will take you right straight there. So remember, the very top window is where you put in what's called the URL address of the website you want to go directly to. If you want to do a search, then you put it in the second one down, which would be your search window. Okay, the next thing we're going to cover is how to download files with a browser. With Chrome, it will show up down here. I'm downloading a file called TVQS, okay? In Chrome, it will always show up in the bottom left-hand corner, and it'll give you the numbers while it's downloading. Once it's finished downloading, then you can double-click it to run it. And after you run something, it'll pop up and say, do you really want to run this? And you just click yes. All right, now with Firefox, it's a little bit different. In Firefox, it'll ask you if you want to save the file, and you save it. And then you got this little arrow right over here. And if you click on it, it shows you your downloads. And there's the file. And if I wanted to run that file, I would double click it to launch it. With Internet Explorer, it's just a little bit different. I'll show you how that works. It will come up and ask you, do you want to run or save it? Okay, with the others, you got to save it first, then you have to double click it to run it. Not so with Internet Explorer. You can save the file and do something with it later, or you can just click on run, and then it will launch as soon as it's finished. Although it will come up and ask you on most computers, do you really want to run this file, or do you want to let this program make changes, or something to that effect? And unless you click yes, it isn't going to go. Okay, so that's how you use the the three different flavors of browsers: Internet Explorer, Firefox, or Google Chrome, and then Opera is another one. Um, the worst browser is usually Internet Explorer, in my opinion. It's less secure, it's not as fast, it's prone to failure, and it's harder to fix when it does break. Uh, Firefox and Chrome are both very robust browsers. I like them both. Opera is the one I personally like the best. It's a very fast browser, and I just like the way it's set up. All these browsers are free. You can download them. Like if you wanted to get Opera, you could type download Opera, and opera.com is where you would go get that. By the way, while we're talking about downloading things, if you search for something to download it, say for example, you wanted to upgrade your flash, okay, and we type download flash, you always want to know where you're getting your stuff from. For example, look at this link down here. Look at the address, adobe-flash-player-en.softonic.com. That's not coming from Adobe, and who knows what you're really going to get if you were to download that. If you're going to get Flash, you want to go right straight to Adobe. See, the one on top says getadobe.com Flash Player. That's a legitimate download. So when you're downloading stuff and searching for it, always pay attention to where you're going, because there's a lot of bad guys out there that'll show up in the search engine, and they're just trying to infect you with viruses. So be careful where you download from. Okay, that concludes our coverage of internet browsers. In this video, we're going to cover how to copy files or backup files, whichever you want to call it. You come down here to the Start button, the round circle in the bottom left. It's known as the Start button. You click on that, and then you come up to Computer. This is how you would do it in Windows 7. If you're using Windows 8, bring up the Charms bar, and in the search box type this PC. If you're in Windows 10, in Cortana, which is the search bar in the bottom left-hand side, type in this PC. That's what they call computer in Windows 8 and Windows 10. So anyway, you click on that and bring that up, and that will show you the drives on your computer. And the C drive is the main drive. That's usually where most of your stuff is. You double-click that to go in there. And let's say we want to back up some stuff from our profile, like our documents, for example. So you scroll down until you see the directory called Users, double-click that to get in there, and then you will find your login name will be on the list here. Mine is M. Swarbrick. So I'll double-click that to get into what's called my profile. And here is where we have my documents, my music, my pictures, my videos, contacts, desktop, all that stuff is in here. If you want to back up your important stuff, this is where you would find it. Let's say, for example, I want to back up my documents. I want to copy them off to a flash drive. I would simply I could copy the entire folder by right-clicking the folder, clicking on Copy, and then I can open up a second instance of computer and go over to whatever drive I want to put that in, go to whatever directory I want, and just do a right click and do a paste, and it will put that whole directory there in this case. All right. If you want to just get some of the files, say for example, you can just click one file, or you can hold the Control key and you can click several files. Or another way to do it would be to hold down the Shift key, and it'll highlight the file, then go down to wherever you want and click again. When you're holding the Shift key, it highlights everything in between the two clicks. Anyway, once you've selected what you want, whether it's several files or a single file, You do a right click on the mouse button, you get this menu, and you do your copy again. And once you do your copy, you come over to wherever it is you want to go, do another right click, and do paste. And that's how you copy your files and back things up. And backing up your files is extremely important. It's not if your computer will crash, it's when. All computers eventually crash. They're a man-made machine with moving parts, and eventually they will come apart. So always back up your important stuff if you want to keep it forever. Okay, that's how you copy and back up files.